Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced that pre-testing for visitors from high-risk countries will continue. Additionally, rapid antigen detection tests will now be accepted alongside PCR test results. Mr. Holness made the announcement as he responded to concerns about the reopening of the tourist sector.
The Health Ministry recently announced that testing for COVID-19 will include antigen testing based on World Health Organization and PAHO guidelines. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the changes in accepted testing for visitors will take effect on October 10.
This should make it easier for visitors, both Jamaicans coming from overseas, Jamaicans who have gone overseas for visits, coming back into the island, Jamaicans who live overseas but who want to visit, and for tourists who are visiting Jamaica, to meet the pre-testing requirement, as antigen tests are more readily available and are faster and cheaper than PCR tests. Applicants on the Visit Jamaica platform will no longer be required to upload their COVID-19 test certificates. They will, however, be required to present it, and along with the usual travel authorization at the airport when they check in for their flight. Residents of Jamaica will continue to apply for their travel authorization on the Jam COVID site and are not subject to the pre-testing requirement.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the decision to reopen the tourism sector amidst the COVID-19 pandemic was not done to favor tourists. It was done in favor of the Jamaican people.
Tourism is a business, and we must treat it as such, and we must seek to get the most economic value out of the business for the people of Jamaica. So, it is the situation that we are in as a small island state. Open economy, highly dependent on tourism and travel, highly dependent on our diaspora. But more than that, Madam Speaker, the nature of our economy as well, by virtue of where God placed us on the globe, is that we are in the most efficient transportation lanes for shipping and for air travel. So our economy is going to be inextricably tied to trade, and Jamaica is well integrated into the world economy by logistics and travel. So any notion, Mr. Speaker, that the Jamaican economy can exist without these dimensions of our economy, those thoughts would be misplaced.
He says Jamaica has done well when compared to many countries in the management of the pandemic. He furthered that the suggestion of another lockdown is an extreme one.
While a lockdown is a tool that is always in the toolbox, the government in the management of the pandemic, however, is not convinced that the application of this tool called the lockdown is either practical or sustainable given Jamaica's current economic context, or even our social context. A lockdown, because sometimes people use the term without fully appreciating what it means. Right? A lockdown would mean closing our borders. You would have tighter and stricter limits on movement and gatherings within our borders. And this would mean, literally now, a decimation of our economy.
Instead of a lockdown, Mr. Holness says Jamaicans should learn to live with the virus.
And I would use this platform to appeal to those persons not to carry that extreme position. The key element of the government strategy now, within this context, is how do we live with the coronavirus and the COVID-19 disease that it caused. The strategy of the government is to limit the spread of the virus and manage the risks while maintaining productive activities in a safe way through observing the protocol.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Simone Absalom.